Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and today we're going to be discussing when is it appropriate to trade against the trend and how to do so with a down and through strategy. To be completely transparent with you, this particular setup has been the most difficult to master, and to be honest, I'm still working to improve my application of this strategy. So today I decided to share with you all the adjustments I've made thus far and how I currently trade the down and through play. So without further ado, let's take a look at the down and through. First thing we need is a minimum of a 3 to 5 bar drop. There could be more, but rarely should there be any less. Next item we need to see is some form of support. In this example, we have a small base. As demonstrated here in the yellow line, the top of this base could serve as potential support. If we zoom in a little closer on our support example, we can see how many times the stock failed to break through the top range of this base. Classic example of old resistance turning into new potential support. Now there's two different ways to enter this play. One being in an anticipatory fashion. In this entry style, your open bar dips slightly under support, revealing our protective stop. And if and only if it retraces back up above support, you have the right to jump into the trade, maintaining that narrow protective stop a penny or two under the tail. Alright, now the second way to play it is the confirmation entry. What does that mean? Well, first we need to have a closed bar at or near an area of potential support. This closed bar is our signal bar. It reveals to us our protective stop and our trigger entry. And if and only if the following bar takes out the top of our signal bar, we have the right to jump into the trade. The next point I'm going to emphasize on, I cannot stress enough how important it is. And if this criteria of the setup is not met, you should avoid taking the trade. And that is enough price extension to be able to get an easy 2 to 1 back up to the 8 simple period moving average. This criteria of the trade is so important, I'm going to say it again. If you do not have enough price extension for an easy 2 to 1 from your trigger entry back up to the 8 simple period moving average, you should not take the trade. This criteria of the trade is so important because all we're looking for is that 1/3 bounce back up towards the 8 MA. It's that slight pullback before setting a new low and starting a trend. How would something like this look like? Let's use the confirmation entry for an example. For instance, here we have a narrow range bar at support, and if our trigger bar follows through, triggering us into the trade, let's assume in this case our total risk is 25 cents. So if we do not have an easy 50 cents from our trigger entry back up towards the 8 MA, we should simply avoid the trade, because like I said, all we're looking for in this type of trade is a simple 1/3 bounce back up towards the MA. So if you can't get an easy double, save yourself the trouble. Now that we're familiar with the down and through strategy, let's start putting it together. But before we do so, if you enjoyed this video so far and want to see more examples like this, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you know every time I drop a new video. Alrighty then, let's put this thing together. Since I primarily trade off the 5-minute time frame, we will start our analysis there. Let's check over our checklist. Item number 1, we need a minimum of 3 to 5 consecutive bar drops. Here, INTC put on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now working on number 6. Second item on our checklist, did the stock fall into support? Well, here in the 5-minute time frame, the only form of support we can see is the whole number 47, and that is why I stress over the importance of multiple time frame analysis to increase the probability of your trades. Finally, item number 3, do we have enough extension to the 8 MA to get an easy 2 to 1? In this case, yes we do. If you can't see it now, do not worry, it will be made clear to you once we go over the actual trade. And that concludes the 5-minute chart analysis. Let's move on to the 15-minute chart. Here we can see INTC has dropped right into a pivot support plus hold number support after a 6-bar drop on my preferred trading time frame, the 5-minute chart. And to be completely clear with you, this is what makes these types of trades so powerful. We have multiple concepts emerging in one location. So if you're interested in increasing your odds of counter trend trades, make sure you patiently wait for multiple concepts to merge into one location. Now let's move on to the hourly chart. In this time frame, the pivot is not as clear as the 15. However, if we take Intel's current price and draw a line across the chart, we can see some support and resistance properties. Lastly, the daily chart. Notice how in this time frame we're also approaching an area of potential support as well. So, in conclusion, we have a 6-bar drop into pivot plus hold number 47 with price distance from the 8 simple period moving average to get an easy double off of 1/3 retracement. Alrighty, now that we went through our analysis and how the setup should look like, let's go to the trade. First, where will my stop be placed? Second, where am I planning on entering? Let's zoom in. Here is where you're understanding why this play is called a down and through. Notice how INTC has dipped under the hold number 47. So if it can get back up through 47, I will start buying at 47.01 and placing my protective stop under the low. And that's the down and through, baby. And now, for the moment you all been waiting for, the down and through play in action. Let's go. This highlighted area is the time and sales window, and it's where I'm going to keep my eyes on, patiently waiting for 47.01 to print. Now that I've been triggered into the trade, the first thing I'm looking to do is protecting myself, placing a stop order under the low. Second thing on my trade management list is to move my stop to break even once INTC has moved in my desired direction, my original risk amount. Now that I have a risk-free trade, all I'm looking for is a 1/3 bounce back up to the 8 MA. There, I will take some profits and trail the back half. Profit is taken, bar by bar trail in full effect. Now before I turn up the music and check out, I understand this is a lot of information to grasp in a short amount of time. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me on any of my socials. Links are in the description, or you can just drop a comment. And if this video wasn't enough, do not worry, this is just the beginning of a much larger playlist I'm planning on building. There will be more videos, more examples to come. Thank you again.